is an entrepreneur, an author, a film producer. That's something that I didn't know about him. And the one I really know about him, he is an investment banker. His name is Chukaka Chukuma. Chukuka, how are you?
Mr. Ekenebai, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm
fine. I'm very, very happy to be on your platform. I've heard a lot about it.
I'm happy you're here. The first question I will ask you, it's not really a question, but I want you to tell my audience about you and your work.
Me and my work. I have many sides to me, but
yes.
Let's start with the one that feeds my family, I would say.
Yes.
So I'm an investment banker, as you said. I run, myself and a partner of mine, run a firm called Racecourse Capital. And at Racecourse Capital, we're heavy on advisory, especially some corporate finance, but mainly project finance advisory.
Okay.
And more recently, as a lot of people have looked at their businesses and trying to figure out what makes sense, especially post-COVID, we actually have reoriented the business more to a principal investment business. So we're in the process of principal investing. So we're in the process of raising a fund, but even before that, on a deal-by-deal basis, where we're essentially deploying capital with some investors that have entrusted money with us that we need to now put to work. So that's what I do. That's my day job, if you will. But obviously, I have another life. I call it's separate, but similar but very separate. That is on the creative side, where over the last couple of years, I've been spending time in media and entertainment, dabbling my hands at different things. That has led me to advising quite a few businesses that are prominent today in the space, and a few big players. But also myself deciding to, do a few things. So one of the things I did was I wrote a book called In Pursuit: Journeys in African Entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that behind you.
Yep.
In fact, I really need to get a copy.
I think you'll actually find it very interesting. And then so that we launched we launched it May last year is when we started pushing it. So it's been just about a year.
Okay.
And it's available everywhere.
Okay. Who are your publishers?
We self-published, actually.
Oh, really good. Okay.
So that went to a publisher, and we thought maybe we want to go that route. But the thing about it is, if you're not already a known name, you come, you say, they ask you, are you a writer? You're like, well, I'm a banker, but I wrote a book. They're not really sure whether your story will be worth it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we decided to invest in ourselves because we believe in product.
Yes, yourselves. Yes.
And so we wrote the book, and it's done a lot better than we even anticipated.
Wow.
In fact, we've actually turned it into it's done a number of things. It's being spun off right now into podcasts. So that, I think we recorded like 5 episodes. So we are behind you. It's going into universities. So we've done a university in Nigeria. We've taught at Junior Achievement. We've also done a university in Canada.
Wow.
Which was also interesting, where they said,
awesome.
Look, you wrote about on entrepreneurship is now, the principles in there, we think to Canadians and the West.
Awesome. So, see, I'm trying to write a book. In fact, I've written several chapters, but I have my own peculiar difficulties because I can write. Okay. It's not very difficult for me to write. I write the way I speak, but I will write several pages and then I can't read it because it's difficult for me to read. So, and that's something that holds me back because writing. No, it's not a memo. What do I have? I don't have much. Maybe in 20 years, I will do that. But now I don't have that information to write in memo. But writing for me is that at least when you write, you need to be able to read it and make corrections. I can't do that at all.
So you need an editor.
Yes, I will get an editor, but
can work side by side with you and give you pointers.
Maybe that's
you need somebody to maybe do a book plan for you. Because what that will do is force you to pre-agree. These are the chapters. I'm doing 10 chapters.
Yeah.
This is the
well. Maybe I've done that because I've already defined the chapters.
Yes, that's good.
See, for me, one of the things is that as I'm writing, I'm also adding contemporary issues in that, and then I get more information, and then I add it. So I need to learn how to arrange the flow.
Yes,
that means I need to read it. And that for me, it's a big difficulty, but I'll get there.
Let us know if we can help. I mean, we now through this process, we now actually set up a company called Media.
Oh, very good.
Does publishing. So we have ghostwriters, editors, over people for audiobooks. We have a bunch of different resources.
Wow. Is good. I have you as a guest because you are giving me the way out. Anyway,
exactly.
Yeah. So, you were saying something about.
No, the last thing I was gonna say. So it's three things really that I do. It's investment banking. I'm an investment banker. I talked about being an author, and then the more recent one that I'm also trying to develop is being a film producer. I've more recently, I now have a second credit as an executive producer. The first one was a short film, and the more recent one is the short film is called The Big Man.
Okay,
and won a couple of awards. It was on New York Times, something or the other.
Wow.
And the more recent one is God Calling, which I worked on with a bunch of people and helped with the international distribution.
Okay.
So we showed it in churches in London, but also here in the States, across maybe 50 or 60 locations, church and other
That's
locations.
Nice.
And now it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Really? Oh, so I need to watch it.
You
I
need
have
to watch that. Right?
Yeah.
You need to read the book and watch the film.
Exactly. I have things to do. Anyway, I have a second cousin who is a producer and director in Nollywood, and he's doing very, very well. He has several series on TV in Nigeria. Yeah, he's doing well, and he was a guest on my podcast when I started. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
check that out.
So your projects, you talked about the two you have done. So what other projects do you think you focus on in your production?
So I have a lot. I think that my goal is to take back the pen and the lens and tell authentic stories. That's I feel like one of my life missions, right? And in doing that, I think that even more important than the story to tell and the film to do and the book to write, the more important thing to me is actually becoming an allocator of capital.
Okay.
Because
in the film industry?
Yeah, so I want to do
very good.
So if I'm controlling the capital,
yes,
whoever controls the capital gets to tell the story.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that. And it's very difficult to just start with, my story is really good. Come on, listen. No. So I want to focus on the money first.
Yeah.
The fund that does a number of industries like technology, but also certainly media and entertainment.
Oh.
And then once I've done that, then I can say, you know what? these are the 15 movies I want to do that I think we should do, and it's my capital at risk.
Chukuma, I think I will connect you with my cousin, and I had one other good friend who is also he's not just interested. He's a writer. He's a very good writer. In fact, he and my cousin were roommates in school.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So they have, and he was also a banker, and right now he has he has left banking. He's doing exactly what you're doing. He has an adversary business.
Okay.
So I will connect you with those people, because
definitely.
What I'm doing with this podcast is that when I wanted to start it, and I told some friends what I want to do, that I want to be interviewing and having conversations with leaders all around the continent. The first kind of people they suggested I talk to were politicians. And I told them, no, I don't want to talk to politicians. Yes, politicians are leaders. But for me, the main leaders that would drive Africa to where we want to go are the people who do things maybe nobody else except people who know them personally know that what they're doing.
Right.
Those are the kind of leaders I want to focus on, because I want to encourage the younger generation that you don't need to be a politician to make an impact in Africa.
Absolutely.
Because many of our people, our young people, think they must be a politician to make impact. No, you don't. So you are doing things that will benefit our continent. So I will connect you with people I know. I don't know if you guys will do anything with that, but hey, that's
never know, right? At least make the connection, and then who knows where it goes from there.
Yes. So you see, right now in our country, in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, there are so many challenges. So many, political challenges, ethnic, and COVID. I mean, right now, look at the way the West are handling the distribution of the vaccine. It's crazy, and it scares me. That's on one side. On the other side, our own people do not want to take the vaccine. I mean, so when I look at I'm always online talking to people about that. Now, people at the beginning, people were saying that the likes of Bill Gates want to kill Africa to reduce the population. Okay. And then I was talking to them, trying to let them understand that Bill Gates only highlighted things that anybody who does any risk assessment would have seen. So his what's it called now? His presentation wasn't about reducing the population of Africa. No, he was telling the world, this is what I see. Today, Bill Gates is now the one who is arguing against the US removing the patent issue about the vaccine. And I'm so angry about it. But for me, this shows us that we as Africans need to start doing things by ourselves. I mean, what's your view on this?
I mean, it's an open-ended question. I mean, the point is, I've taken my shots, by the way.
Yes, I have to. Yeah.
So I took my shots. I may not have done fantastically well in biology when I was in
school.
in King's College, but I believe the science. And I believe, even as a Christian, that God, God has never, He doesn't need to leave heaven to come and do anything for you. He sends people.
Yeah.
One of the people He sends are scientists and stuff. So anyway, I don't have any issues with that. Have there been things in the past? Could there be stuff now that people are trying to plot against us? All that is very possible.
Yeah.
The wickedness of man has no end.
It's unbounded.
Right? The wickedness, it will continue to be there. So if somebody told me that all the vaccines they give, all of us are going to die, whatever, I go to heaven and rest. But to be more serious, I think when it, even though you didn't really ask this question, but the more focused question could be, how does COVID really affect Africa?
Yes,
right?
Yes, that's what I was going for.
On one side, we haven't seen as many deaths. On the continent from COVID as we have elsewhere.
Yes, I'm so happy about that.
So there's something, whether it's the pepper, whether it's the salt, whatever it is, right? But there's something. I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to sit here and try and figure out what the reason is. But for whatever reason, God has deemed it fit. Knowing our health situation, all hands are not equal. So this is America. They got a lot of problems because they can handle it. We got a lighter cross on COVID. Because that's the height of the crisis we can handle. People forget that we're already dealing with parts of the continent, kidnapping, rape, poverty, bad water. We're already dealing with a plethora of issues. We didn't also need COVID. So it's fine that COVID is doing. But the truth is that when I think of if there were to be an entrepreneurial gene, and the fact that people are so resilient in business, say somewhere like Nigeria, I don't expect that people should be complaining about COVID, because COVID has brought a lot of the world, especially the West, it's brought them to where we live. We live in a highly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous market, where we have things that they don't think about, like fluctuations in interest rates and fluctuations in FX rates on a daily basis. You can go and buy bread today and go tomorrow and it's changed. You have policies changing at a very fast pace. You've got, we talk about police brutality here, but even within the confines of laws, there's
no law, man.
The law is the day you meet the policeman on the road, he can see a laptop and be like, I'm charging you for espionage.
Yes. And you can't do anything about it.
There's nothing, right? So there's no body cam, there's no security, there's no camera, there's nothing, right? Okay. So it's a very, very different environment. So in a way, I don't actually want to hear Africans complaining about COVID, because COVID hasn't added any more complexity to your life.
Okay.
It's not. Do you understand? If you're selling bolly, if you're selling plantains, the quarter-mile radius of that location still has people that need to eat bolly, and whatever else that supports it every day. Your customers are not going to go down as a result of that. So why are you bothered about? Do you understand? Something that's so esoterical. So I think that the Nigerian government was broke before COVID came. The implosion, the current situation in Nigeria today is an implosion. It's all self-induced. None of it is external. None. Right? Which is why Ghana is relatively thriving.
Doing well.
One that's relatively thriving.
Doing well.
So if all those guys are fine, why are we having problems? Because of COVID? No, because we didn't manage the resources when we got them. 10 years ago, when we had excess, we burnt it, right? There was no saving for tomorrow. And we continue to steal and rape and pillage from the little we have. That's the problem. Bad leadership, all that stuff. So COVID is not really, to me, as topical, right? Are people wearing masks? Are they not wearing masks? They're not going to die because they're wearing because they didn't die from Lassa fever.
Well, I agree with you. I do agree with you. But me, I'm a scientist. And I'm happy that we have not been impacted like the West, like Brazil, like India. Okay. Like Mexico. I'm happy. But for me, our scientists, African scientists, I'm not saying the West, need to right now start doing the research to understand what exactly is the reason why Africa has not been affected like the rest of the West and the likes of South America and India. Now, this is the issue. See, more viruses will come. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Now, another virus that may come will not have will not use the same mechanism of entering the body like the COVID virus. So we need to understand what exactly was happening, why the COVID virus didn't affect Africans. So there is something about us, okay, maybe physical or something we have in our environment that is protecting us.
Definitely.
So we need to know what it is.
Yes.
It's important to know, because if we don't do that, the next virus that comes, our people will say, oh, it's just like the COVID virus. And we treat it exactly like they are treating this one. And that may become something very devastating.
Yeah. This thing you're saying is a very good point, because if you look at something like malaria,
yes,
there has been a mutation of the malaria strain.
Every week a new one happens. Yeah.
Right. And even when you look at it from two sides, the treatment of patients. When I was young, I think we identified maybe three types. Either you're having cerebral, which is the worst. You're having there's a middle one and regular one. Now there's different levels to it. Yep. I'm not talking about other strains like Zika and West. I'm not even talking about that. No.
You're talking about malaria.
Just malaria that's in Africa.
Yeah.
There were like 2 or 3. Now there's so many more. And we haven't even studied that yet, right? To know how to tackle it. That's on the treatment side. On the other side, the pesticides that are supposed to be killing the mosquitoes. I don't know about you. You've been out of the country for a while, but there's things like Baygon. Baygon can kill a small child. But the malaria, the
mosquito will survive.
Mosquito will still be alive. Yeah. So you fleet Baygon. You have to leave your house for the whole day, or at least 6 hours. That room is condemned. Wow. When you come back, your guy is still flying. So there's a lot of stuff that we're not doing to learn our environment. Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But what I know is, and that's why, like, when I look at the startup, all the startup capital, all the stuff happening, I'm really excited about what has happened in fintech. Okay. But I actually think that fintech is overdone.
Yeah.
Is too much, is enough. Because we need as much energy spent on agriculture, on
Well, see, the point is that the fintech people should focus on the issues that affect Africa. Let them take it as
they've even done that. Because if you start with M-Pesa in Kenya, that's a fintech issue. Yeah. All the stuff going Flutterwave, they're dealing with our problems, and that's why they're getting very good. What I'm saying is that engineering, that focus,
needs as a continent that we should drive it towards that. Yes,
in education, in research, in healthcare, in
housing,
telecom, everything else.
Yes.
Right. So that way, if you think of if you were running a real country like they are in the West, when vaccines come from China, they don't come from the port to Abuja for them to share and start giving out. They first have to be approved.
Yeah.
Right. And that approval is not just a rubber stamp NAFDAC or so. No.
Yes.
It's an actual African
scientist will
research
it. Yes.
Who pieces everything. That's if you are not even doing your own. No. I'm saying at the best level, you should even do yours.
Yes.
You should go to the bush, look for which herbs, mix.
Yes.
To get the thing. And then write the West and say, based on, because what they've done is they say, oh, Pfizer says this is good. Yeah. In the same way, Opola Pharmacy says this is good for us, right? And you write a letter, you put all the tests that you did, all the tests, clinical trials, this is how many people survived. And then you write it, wrap it, and send it. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to buy this, this is how much we're selling it for.
Yeah.
Then you're going head to head with Pfizer, everybody, in no different a way that today, I remember when Dangote, 20 years ago, said, I'm going to go into cement. Well, if you're not in anywhere in Africa, the major countries, you're not going to buy from Lafarge. You're likely going to buy from Dangote.
Yes.
And the question, if that can be, do you want to buy Dangote or do you want to buy Lafarge? If that can be the same thing, because money has been invested in cement production, understanding by a local, why can't it be the same for pharmacies?
Exactly.
And everything else, right?
Everything else.
Doing it, a couple of others are doing it, but we need it for, a bunch of other areas.
Yeah. You are very, very right. And this is something we need to always talk about. See, I don't know if maybe we have people up there talking about it. No, but I want more of our ordinary citizens to be talking about it. And not only to talk about it, to be seriously involved in doing these things. Because
that's why I want to manage capital, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the other area that I think is very important.
Okay.
Algorithms rule the world.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. If you agree algorithms rule the world, and you understand that we as Africans, we're not in the algorithm game in any significant way. Everything we're building now is on top of somebody's stuff.
Exactly.
So we don't see the black box, right?
Yes.
But the black box is faulty and it's tainted against us. So as an example, if you start with facial recognition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Facial recognition doesn't work properly.
For black people, yes.
If your face and my face, if it goes into a system now, they will confirm in many countries that either you were a terrorist or I was an armed robber or something. You confirm something. Meanwhile, we've never done anything, you see. So it's a problem. So if you don't have capital, which is the
engine. The engine
is the top of the mountain.
Yes.
There are 7 mountains. Is the top. If you don't manage the capital, you can now do AI and all these things. So you can now say to somebody, you know what? We are now going to do the facial recognition that we will give FBI and give everybody else for black and brown people, because we know they don't have that one. They did the one for themselves. They left ours alone. Right? You can go to the guy, the doctor who does prosthetics. For our skin instead of for everybody else, and say, dude, we need more of this one, because we're about to put a ban in all African countries. You cannot send any prosthetic leg that is white, because there's no, who is it that, okay, we have a couple.
In fact, I saw an article maybe a week or two ago of a young man in is it Imo or something that is doing prosthetics for black people.
Absolutely.
The story is that his brother had to cut his leg that he had to, and I was so happy, Yes, see, what you are saying exactly is what I'm saying, because see, people don't understand that technology is not science. Okay, the technology is on top. They use the findings of scientists and make things. That's what technology does. So, but the roots of the information comes from scientists. Mm-hmm. And I want Africa to focus more on the science. See, if we don't add value in the science, in the science, then we are relying on the goodwill of the research people to give us and allow us to use their findings. Why should they do that?
You shouldn't.
I mean,
something like sickle cell or any other thing that affects mainly black and brown people. Who is that? Who is the idiot that's supposed to put money? If not you and I, right?
Exactly.
It's got to be us, right? And that's why I'm saying the money drives everything. So whether it's education, I mean, the other day I was looking at, how we look at the map of the world, and anywhere you Google the map of the world, it's wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. That is a lie that's been told by the conqueror.
Oh my God.
To everybody, right? But if you have your money, instead of Khan Academy, you do Chukuyenum Academy, fund it yourself. But now this academy is available to
anybody,
available to black people, brown people, everywhere. If you want to know the truth about yourself,
you write it yourself.
American, and you want to, because when I was in the States, I used to always battle my African American history teacher. They would. I remember seeing the day I got the book. I was like, there's missing pages in the book, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "This book starts from when people were slaves. Where's the part of
before then?"
Right? Because that's the complete story.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like, this is not African history. This is African American. I was like, yeah, but you shouldn't even call it African American history, because it's just American history about black people in America.
Exactly.
It's not really, there's nothing African inside this. Because if you say African American history, please, you have to put some African history, and it cannot be slavery.
Yeah, exactly.
That's American history.
Exactly.
That is the new, so things like that, right? So education, healthcare, fintech, algorithms control everything.
Yeah.
You got to go into the math. You got to go into the data. You are only allowed to do that if you're an investor. So if I'm an investor in a company that is a data science company, I can say, Mr. CEO, come to my house with your CTO, open up the black box. Okay. But can't you see that it's garbage in, garbage out?
Yeah.
You have said that these are your variables that spit into this database. No wonder all your outcomes are wrong.
Yeah.
You can't say that you can't say anything if you didn't put the money. I mean, when people were excited about Wakanda, the movie, right? Black Panther.
Yes.
The first question I asked, oh my God, I said, no, sorry. Can I just ask one question? Was there any black money? They say, oh, what do you mean? The actors got paid a lot. I say, that's what I'm saying. Me, I'm a producer. I want to finance film. I want to put money in the deal. Who that is black that came
put money in that thing?
Put money in the deal.
Yeah.
If you, at the end of the day, that's the real celebration, right? We play NBA. I know you're a sports fan. NBA, this, that.
Yeah.
I don't care about all that. I want to know which teams have black owners.
Are owned by blacks, yes.
Owned, cash.
Yes.
Whenever I go to a restaurant, first question I ask, who owns the restaurant. I want to know who the owner is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing this shirt, right?
Yeah.
Because this is Ugo Moye, big designer in Nigeria. I wear a lot of his stuff, but guess what? I know who the owner is, and I know that my money is going to my people, right?
You see, this is something that we don't do. We don't spend our money to promote services or products that is made by fellow Africans. We spend a lot of our money on services and products made by the West, mostly. And we can't continue doing that if we want to develop. Anyway, we talk. See, this podcast shows me that I need to get you back, okay, to talk, because there's so many different interesting issues about Africa. There's so many different issues about Africa. So we'll talk about that. Now, let's go a little bit personal, okay? You and I have something in common. We have suffered health issues in the last few years. You see, I had a stroke, like and till today, I'm still suffering or trying to survive it, because I still have a lot of physical disability. And like I told you earlier, my inability to read is part of the effects. Now, I like to talk about my health issues because I want to highlight the circumstances that led to it. And I want other people to learn about it. And interestingly, I have heard about at least 5 young, so I'll put this in quote, healthy people who have died since my own issue. You see, I was lucky. My wife was still in the house when mine happened, and they were about to go out.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to go out all day to her sister's house. Assuming they had gone out, then we'll have a different story.
Totally different outcome.
So yeah. I'm happy that you was there. Yes. So I like to talk about it. Okay. And can you tell my audience exactly what happened to you?
Sure. I mean, in a nutshell, I had a heart attack. This was back in 2014. Before my heart attack, I was relatively fit.
Yeah, footballer.
Yep. The week before my heart attack, I played soccer for an hour and a half, 3 times that week with younger than 21-year-old kids. So, I'm able to keep pace with them.
Yeah.
I was jogging at the time, not running, but jogging.
Okay.
3 times a week, about 3-4 miles. So, it was the eve of my 40th birthday. I was fit. I was what somebody I think would say I was fit. But I think that hereditary played a part. So basically the night or the eve of my 40th birthday, I had a heart attack. It took 17 hours for them to diagnose that it was a heart attack I had.
Wow.
I was when my wife took me to the hospital, on our way to the hospital, police almost shot us because they said it was going too fast. So they made us stop. And even after we said we're rushing, trying to get me urgently to the hospital, they delayed a little bit, so got to the hospital, because we didn't know it was a heart attack. We thought it was indigestion from the wonderful pounded yam I had earlier that day. So we just thought it was indigestion. Got to a hospital because we thought any hospital would do. The gate was locked. The guy, used like some time to open the gate. 7 keys later, I opened the gate. I went in, and for the first 17 hours of being in the building from 12:30 a.m. at night till 5 p.m. the next day, they were treating me for malaria and asthma. I was telling them, no, there's something here. Please check. Don't you have some other machine? Anyway, the heart attack ran its course. I lost 50% of heart function.
Ooh.
I could barely walk from 20 steps was hard. And because the heart was so damaged, they had to wait 10 more days before they did the surgery. Now, in a normal country, there's something, as you know, called a golden rule. And the golden rule says that within 3 hours of a heart attack happening, they have to have done the surgery. Because I was in Nigeria, 17 hours later, nothing. Finally get taken to the right hospital. But the heart has run its course. It's so bad. It needs to recover. So they had to wait 10 days for the heart to even be at the level where they could now do the treatment. So anyway, I had a stent put in because my main artery
was damaged.
Had collapsed. There was a 99% blockage in the main artery.
Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, after 99, it's 100, right?
So if you had major blockage, that means you're also lucky that it didn't lead to a stroke.
Easily. Because basically the pain that you feel, and by the way, it feels like, for me, it felt like, those Rambo knives, jagged on sharp together. It feels like the knife is spinning, cutting you, and then daggering you at the same time at a high pace. So that's what it felt like. I was just like, what is this? And I was feeling that pain. They said when you feel the pain is good because it means that the blood is trying to push through, right? Because I was fit, I mean, I've been doing sports since I was young. Because I was fit, I don't smoke, I don't drink, never did, never probably will. And really just God didn't want me to go. It wasn't my time. It was trying to do that for 6 hours. 6 hours, I was getting that pain.
Wow.
And when I got into the hospital at 12 something, all the way till 6. What's also interesting is that around 3:30, 4 a.m., they decided to nebulize me.
What does that mean?
So when you're asthmatic, if you've gone past just using your inhaler. Because in a really bad state, they give you like a breathe, like an oxygen thing, for it to go straight into your lung.
Okay.
That's the nebulization.
Yeah.
When you get nebulized, they can also do it in a way that you get some traces of something that allows you to fall asleep. Right? So that you relax, right?
Yes.
So you're not like,
you're not agitated. Yeah.
When you nebulize someone who's having a heart attack, what it does is it triggers the heart to now.
Oh my God!
Yes. So the things they were doing was actually making me worse off, not better.
God!
Now, what was amazing about this whole thing was I said to myself, I know I didn't do well in biology, but it's sad that I'm in a place where the people that are supposed to be taking care of me obviously did not do well in biology either, right?
Yeah.
Because the person that diagnosed that I was having a heart attack was my friend who studied biology, but he's an IT guy. The guy I wrote the book with. He came and was doing WebMD. Chuka, so how do you say you're feeling? Okay. I think you're having a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Before they then did the MRI that led to, I mean, whatever. Nigeria is crazy, man.
Your story it scares me. See, I was lucky. See, I say this.
Yes.
If I wasn't in the UK when what happened to me happened, I would have died. Okay, that's truth, the truth. Now, unlike you, fit person, I wasn't so fit. I would say that's the truth. I wasn't so fit. I don't run, but I walk a lot. Okay, I walk from my train station to my house every day. That's about nearly 2 miles. Okay, in the summer, so I do that, and even in the city where I walk a lot. Okay, from the station to my office and back. So I do a lot of walking. But in terms of, I was fat, in truth. Okay. Now, when it happened to me, I just woke up. I went to the toilet, came back because it was a summer day and it was hot. So I didn't go to sleep with a shirt. So I just picked my shirt. I wanted to wear it because I heard my children shouting, playing downstairs. So I wanted to go and join them.
Right.
So that was what I was doing. And then I woke up. I saw myself on the floor. And the last thing I remember was me trying to wear a shirt. So I said to myself, why are you on the floor? Okay, stand up. I couldn't. And then I tried to call out. I couldn't. Wow. And then again, I fainted. The next time I knew, I heard footsteps coming upstairs. It was my wife. And then she came to me to the room and she saw me. And she asked me, what's the matter with me? I thought I told her, but she told me I didn't say anything.
Wow.
And then she asked me, should I call the ambulance? I thought I told her, but she tells me I didn't say anything. So, but I knew when the ambulance people came, and then tried to talk to me, and then they wheeled me out of my house, and then I got to the hospital. So I after that, I knew.
What year was this?
It was August 22nd, 2011. That is going to be 10 years this year, So when I got there, they injected me. There's a medicine they use for stroke patients to relieve that blockage. Okay, so they did that. And then, interestingly, in fact, I didn't wake up for some days, So, do you know when Manchester United played Arsenal and we beat them? My team is Manchester United, beat them 8-2. Now, I will tell you this. I knew that time I was in hospital. Okay. Now I begged the nurses to wheel me to the TV room to watch the game, to watch the highlights of the game. Okay, at night. Now I will tell you. I only knew my team just because of their uniform.
Really?
See, I didn't know any player's name. I didn't know. I didn't know the only name I knew.
Memory loss as well.
Well, at that time. See, for me, the only name I knew was mine. I didn't know my wife's name, my children's name. I know who they are.
Yes.
Okay? I knew who they are, but their names I didn't know. Ask me what's this, I couldn't tell you it's a phone. I couldn't tell you this is a cup. I couldn't tell you this is a table. So I suffered this for at least 4 years before I could see my first daughter and call her name. So that was the biggest, for me, the inability to speak was the biggest thing that could ever happen to me. I mean, you know me, I speak a lot.
Oh yeah.
And today I'm speaking to the world on my podcast. This is the most important thing for me, to be able to speak. And maybe that's why I focus on my speech and not my physical disability. I mean, that's what I think, you know. Even now, while I'm speaking, I'm still forcing it. At least you hear me, I'm trying to push the word out. I'm still forcing it. Because, see, I don't know how to say this. It's as if something is blocking me from speaking. So I'm forcing it. I have, because I did a little bit of speech therapy, and right now I can't speak Igbo or Yoruba. I can speak them, but man, it's difficult. Yeah. It is extremely difficult. Now I understand anything you say to me, okay, but to speak, I was once upon a time I was fluent in Yoruba, just like any Yoruba person.
Interesting.
People until people knew my name Ikene, they didn't know I was Igbo.
Right.
Because my Yoruba was that fluent. I learned it in Ilaro, Ogun State. So my Yoruba was very fluent, but today very iffy. So the real issue is that young people, especially young men, are having these same difficulties that we have.
Yeah.
And in Africa, people die. I mean, I have a friend who lived in my estate in Lagos, Bagada Phase 2. He died. Yeah. He went to sleep, and the next morning he woke up.
Wow, that's so sad. Now.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he had a family and everything.
Everything. I mean, that was after my stroke. You know, and one of the people I begged after my issue was him. I called him. I told him, see what happened to me. Because we normally sit down together, we have drinks together. I told him, see my life, see what's going on with me. Please, if you can do anything, try so hard to modify your life.
So things like work-life balance, exercise.
Yeah. You know. But he died.
We stress a lot. I mean, I said, I mean, you remember now we were in the same profession, you know, yeah. Banking is very tough. And I had left banking in 2011 because it was I was just tired. I mean, I worked for 16 years, which is not a long time, but banking, investment banking, you're doing 80 to 100 hour weeks. 80 to 100 hours in 1 week, and that's just a long time. So that's like double shift every week for 16 years. That's like a 30-year working career, right? And I was just exhausted. So I had taken time off. I did absolutely nothing for 2 years.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. I spent time with, you know, my family. I reprioritize my life, God, family, friends, and the rest of it whenever it happens.
Yeah.
traveled a bit and, relaxed. And then I came back and set up. But even then I set up with boundaries. So I would, once the sun is going down, I'm off calls, time, for my wife, time for my kids. I was heavy on just balanced living, Yeah. And not trying to kill myself.
Well, we thank God we are able to sit down and have this conversation, and hopefully somebody will hear this and prioritize their own lives, because it's important that they're here, okay, for their kids, for their family, and anyway.
And also doing things that feed your soul, right?
Yes.
So before, I don't know that I would have written a book or spent time on a movie or any of these other things, but I also give back some of my time. I spend time with some companies in Canada.
That's something we talk about very quickly. Tell me, you were talking about that. Let's talk about it. What projects you're giving back? What kind of projects you have you been involved in?
So I have a couple of things that I'm involved in. About 9 years ago now, actually, 9 years ago, I joined the board of a company called SEO Africa. SEO. Yes. So it's called Sponsors for Education Opportunity.
Okay.
When I was in college, I was an intern in SEO.
Okay.
And they were the ones that placed me initially at JP Morgan. And I was part of a bunch of other people and stuff. But the SEO program was so beneficial to my life. I got to know the owner or the visionary behind it,
yes.
Michael Schwitz. And I gave some of my time in New York after I finished my first year with SEO. I gave some time. But what I found was that 9 years ago now, we decided to set it up, because what we do is we help get internships for kids that are in college.
Okay.
So we get them jobs in investment banking, corporate law, accounting, different things. And so we now have about over 500 kids that have come through the program from Africa. So
that's impressive.
SEO, it exists in the US, Vietnam, China, London, and one or two other places. But we decided to set it up in Africa because we thought it was very important for our kids to be given those opportunities.
Yes.
So as an example, we have the companies that we send kids to for jobs, and not just on the continent, they're also outside.
Okay.
So Linklaters, Linklaters, they're Bank of America Merrill Lynch.
Yeah.
Facebook we've worked with, Goldman Sachs, North Fund, and a bunch of others. So we even in Nigeria, we did a pilot program. I want to say in 2018, we did a test program. We built something called the you know how you have DFIs, development finance institutions.
Yeah.
We did something called the Development Finance Internship.
Okay.
So it focused on NSIA, which is our sovereign wealth fund.
Okay.
IFC, ADB, Afrexim, a bunch of those. And of course, the Ministry of Finance. So we did it through the Ministry of Finance, and we send the kids to those places to work.
Okay, that's nice.
So it's been very good because, some of these kids are coming out of, say, Unilag or a school in Ghana, Legon University, or some school in university. We have about 12 countries in Africa now that are participated, including the Francophone ones.
Okay.
North Africa, Southern Africa, East Africa. And what I can say is we've had kids, let's say a Nigerian kid, the opportunity to go to the best bank in Nigeria versus going to work for Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
If you manage to get into Goldman Sachs as a undergraduate, first time job, investment banking, you're probably doing something like £55,000. If you convert that to Naira, it would have taken you something like 10 years or 15 years
to get
to that same amount, just because of the currency and all kind of dislocations. So it has been hugely impactful because you have kids who've never traveled before, who don't understand a system of full merit because they come from Nigeria where it's not merit-based, right? It's all kinds of
your uncle, your auntie.
Well, there's that, but there's also the zonal system. You know, we are full on emo. Are you from Zamfara? We have space there, whatever it is. So they're used to that system. So when they came into our setup, they're like, we don't have to do anything. No, we don't have to pay. No. And I get to go to London. Yes. I go back to do my passport and if you don't have a passport, they'll do everything.
We'll get you one.
London. People. So I have all these mothers, I'm sure, and fathers who are praying for the invisible faces that set up a program that their daughter didn't have to go and greet anybody. They didn't have to go and beg, just kids are smart.
That's
got
good.
It and went. Yeah. So stuff like that is very good. In Canada, I'm working with something called Propel Advisors.
Okay.
It's a number of Black, male and female Black advisors working with Black-owned businesses where we essentially help them with their business plan and financial model and whatever they need to make sure that they can get a loan from a bank, or if they're looking for equity, they can raise the equity because they know how to put their pitch deck together and stuff like that. I give my time towards that as well.
That's good. That's good.
I've been doing that during the pandemic because there's a lot of Black businesses that are just like struggling.
Yeah.
They don't even know how to get the PPP loans that are available.
Yeah.
So they need people that, can help give them guidance. So I decided to give my time to that as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Things like that keep me busy, but also allow me to give back.
Yeah. I mean, you use your expertise to help people who need it. And that's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. See, looking at Africa and Africans, both on the continents and abroad, what do you see in 30, 20 years?
I don't think that there is a better time to have been alive to see what is about to happen for Black people. And I think that is a window of change that is bigger than any individual. It's almost like a divine intervention where God has said, it's you people's time. It's no different a way that it was time for the Jews or whatever it is. Now, to put it into more concrete steps, if you think of all that's going on, you have the BLM movement in America.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
You've got things like the Black North Initiative going on in Canada, similar to BLM.
Yeah.
You have stuff going on in England, with people fighting the police and trying to fight for their rights and stuff. At the same time, our kids, a little bit of us, but more so the next generation, our kids are beginning to have those clear paths to, they don't really see, they were teenagers or younger when Obama was president.
Yes.
So they don't understand when we're like, Black people are not allowed to do this. They don't really no, but
they didn't understand that some of us cried.
Just I saw a guy Obama. I saw Meghan Markle. I've seen things, right? I've seen too many things that make me, I've seen Wakanda on television. I've seen, I've seen all this stuff that confirms to me that I myself and anybody else, there's no difference. The fintech revolution going on the continent. The fact that there are people in Africa that are setting up businesses that are young, less than 30, less than 40, setting up business, and the business grows to a level that can take care of themselves and their family. But in even the very rare but also increasing number of situations, that the company now becomes $1 billion valuation. That's happening at a much faster pace than an alarming rate.
Yes.
So the transfer of wealth is already happening from allocators of capital saying we're going to invest in these Black businesses, and oh, by the way, they're doing well. And so if you now fast forward that 30 years, which is almost a generation, right? In fact, it's like 1.5, because people are having, if you have a child at 20, so it's like 1.5. You see that it's actually going to be so beautiful, right? By the time in 30 years, it will not be unheard of that a soccer team in Europe or an American baseball team or any of these teams, that they have 3, 4, 5 brown and Black people that own significant stakes.
Very good.
You will not be hard pressed to put on Netflix and just see
Nollywood.
Nollywood all day, right? No big deal, right?
Yeah.
We would have won not just Oscars, but Grammys. Not just in the other category, but in
the main categories, yes.
Because now we are entering those spaces, right?
Yes.
We are coming in as producers. I don't want to be a Nollywood producer. I'm actually looking to be a Hollywood producer.
Okay.
And manage capital on a significant basis, right? So we'll be playing the game at the highest level, right? And so our kids will be in animation studios that they own a stake of, but they have a partner that's Japanese, and they are doing content that is Japan culture into Africa. Culture, pushed together onto a platform.
You are seeing things the way I see it.
Absolutely.
See, and you know what? The thing is that I want our people to understand that we cannot create anything until we first create those things in our own imaginations. You see, anything that we see physically is first created in the minds of men. And I want us to always say this, because if you can't create it in your mind, then there is absolutely no way you can create it in reality.
Yep.
And these things you are seeing, those are the things I'm seeing. I pray to God that we'll be there to see them in reality.
No, I honestly believe that. I mean, if this was 30 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting on an African chair. Everything that I'm looking at around me, my table here, I brought it from Lagos. And I'm not in Nigeria. I'm in the States.
See, like I told you, I want to be just like you.
My pillow. But in 30 years, I want some of my children, somebody's child that's African, to have done mattress and television and the fan and the AC system and HAV system and the app I'm going on to close all the blinds automatically. I need one. That thing has to be one of our. So that's where we're going, right?
Yeah.
This mic I have here that's for podcasting, it would be like one mic that they built in Ghana or in somewhere. That's the game, right? These glasses, I should never, use anything that's not produced
in Africa.
And that's why the money game is important, because it's the money that tells everybody what to do. And so if we don't become capital allocators, if capital allocators are not Black and brown people, there's no hope for us. We will always be doing handouts. Like now, they're still, BLM is still handout season. Okay, let's give them 100 million to solve this problem. Let's give them 1 billion to just, keep them quiet. We want the cash ourselves. Once we have it and we're the ones deploying it, then it's open season. Because then if I call a meeting, if I'm managing $500 million and I pick up my phone and I call the mayor here or the chief of police, they are coming to my office.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not coming to your office if you're not managing money, right? You're going to be begging one Jewish friend who's a lawyer, this and that, which I have now. I live in a Jewish neighborhood, but I want that. I want the full thing, right? So that's where we have to go. It's the only way. Otherwise, we lose the game.
Very good. Very good. See, Chukuka, thank you very much for being here. So to wrap up, tell my audience where they can find you in Lagos or online.
Yeah, so if you're interested in our book,
yeah,
it's available on Amazon.
Yeah, what's the name of the book again?
In Pursuit.
Yeah.
Journeys in African Entrepreneurship.
Very good.
So that's available in Lagos. I mean, it's literally everywhere.
Yeah. Good.
You've got bookstores, online bookstores. We have them available, but it's not one that's hard to find.
Good.
And then the film we mentioned before, that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
God Calling. It's a movie that a lot of people seem to have enjoyed.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chukuka. You guys, today we have, you would have listened to me having wonderful conversation with my friend, Chukaka Chukuma, an investment banker, an author, a film producer. So thank you very much, Chukuka.
Thank you, Ekene, and really congratulations. This is an awesome platform. So I'm so grateful to have been invited. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you. Bye.